The last few hours to encourage people to register to vote in the August 3rd local government election. The EFF is out and about in Durban, and that's where our reporter Mlungisi Khumalo is. Mlungisi, nice to chat to you once again. Just how is the registration drive proceeding in Durban?
Good afternoon to you too as well back there. Well, basically, voter registration in the province has gone very smoothly so far. In the morning, we met with DA provincial leader Zwagele Mngcwango, who was also out with some party agents out in full force, trying to beguile young people, especially to go out and vote. And also, we also caught up with IFP leader Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who was also out in Umlazi, who also applauded the smooth process of registration in the province. He also said, interesting enough, jokingly said that tolerance between political parties in the province was growing and that there was peace in the province, which is a very good thing. That also shows again how peaceful and smooth our voter registration procession has been going. But we've also just heard news that up in northern KwaZulu-Natal, in Tabanani, there was a polling station that was burnt down to the ground and torched, and the police are still investigating that. And not far from here, up in Claremont, protesters also barricaded roads and also threatened registration agents who work for the IEC, telling them that they need to go out of the area or else they will wreak havoc. Coming back to the issue, I'm right here with EFF Provincial Deputy Chair Jackie Shandu with me, who will explain to me as to how prepared the party is and what have they done in order to try and beguile their voters to go out to register. Jackie Shandu, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, and as the EFF, we appreciate the opportunity.
Yes. Jackie Shandu, what do these elections mean for you, especially the registrations for you as the EFF in the province?
Well, it means a lot, especially for KZN, because for some strange reason, there is a perception that EFF is either weak or does not exist at all. And we want to prove everyone wrong because we have a very dynamic and a vibrant organization in this province, in all 11 regions. We have structures, we have branches, and we are going to contesting, we are going to produce ward candidates and councillor candidates throughout all those wards of KZN. This registration weekend has been going very smooth. We started yesterday in the morning. We unleashed all our party agents throughout the province. I was up and down here in eThekwini. The students have come through as well to mobilize students because students are voters as well. So we've been visiting a lot of voting districts, and the registration process has been very smooth, and we feel very confident. We have proved to ourselves that indeed we have an organization here in KZN. It's visible, it's alive, it's dynamic, save for the few glitches, particularly from the ruling party. For instance, in this VD where we are, in this building, there are people wearing yellow t-shirts and they keep pouring water down to our party agents and our volunteers here. And we don't understand that kind of conduct, because this is an open process, democratic, constitutional process for all South Africans. We are well disciplined, we are sticking to our rules, our constitution and that of the Republic. And all we ask for, in particular from the African National Congress, do the same. The tolerance, we have not had any problem from other opposition parties. It's just the ruling party, and seemingly its violence is only meted out to the EFF. But we are not crying, we are not crybabies. We are here, we are confident, we are strong, and I think we are going to give them a very hard time come elections on the 3rd of August.
Yes. Mr. Shandu, the youth more especially have been said that they are going to play a key role in the elections. Have you guys any strategy in terms of beguiling them to go and register out to vote?
No, absolutely. In fact, even demographically speaking, in terms of the composition of the population of the country, we know for a fact that there are more young people than there are old people. That if you really want to make an impact in an election, that age group of 18 and early 30s to mid 30s, that is where the bulk of your votes are going to come from. And fortunately, I am tasked also to convene the student command here in the province. So we've made sure we've got fighters at DUT, at UKZN, at UNISA, at TVET colleges, who have also come out in full numbers from yesterday, doing door-to-door in the residences, getting their fellow students to go out and register. They've also visited voting districts. So definitely, with young people of KZN in big numbers have shown that they believe in the EFF and the vision it has for the countries, and they've rallied behind the call for the attainment of the economic freedom in our lifetime through the EFF and its vision for the country.
Mr. Shandu, you are in here in the city central Durban.
Sure.
We also believe that you are making inroads outside of Durban, which is the rural areas.
Sure.
How's the registration process in terms of your party agents going there?
Sure. It's been going very smooth. We are in constant communication as 11 regions of KwaZulu and Natal. We have also social media groups where we've seen people in Zululand, people in Amachuba, people in Uchungulu, in Umgungundlovu, in Sisonke, showing pictures, what is happening where they are. We've seen people in long queues, many of them in EFF t-shirts, going to register to vote in Ladysmith, all over the province. So we're very confident. I think we've been honest with ourselves in terms of building the organization and making sure that we are not just making up numbers and doing all those sort of funny things. So we have physical, real people who are committed to the organization, and that has been vindicated very strongly. Like I'm saying, we've seen evidence that across in Gwanongoma, there we've got a very thriving organization there, and people have come out to vote, and they're saying come 3rd of August 2016, they are voting EFF. So KwaZulu-Natal must brace itself for a number of municipalities that will be governed by the EFF after the 3rd of August.
Yes. Post the registration period, what's next for the EFF?
Well, like I've said, we have structures all over the province. And what we decided to do, because there were regions that were not able to take to regions prior to elections, we said, let's park that process. Let's throw our weight, our collective focus and energy on the election. And immediately after the election, we are then going to roll out that process of regional conferences so that all 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal have democratically elected leadership of the EFF. So that will be the next phase. But the revolution is ongoing. We don't exist just for elections. The bigger project as well is conscientization and politicization rather of the broader society, and that is how we are going to effect change. And that is how, when people begin to understand, and people have demonstrated that they are beginning to understand how democracy ought to work. They have shown condemnation for what has happened in Nkandla, and the courts have ruled. They've said no, EFF is on the right side of the law in defense of the Constitution, which is, I think, the core of this democracy. So people of KwaZulu-Natal are beginning to be very critical in terms of their outlook, in terms of the questions they're asking. Everywhere we go, people are saying, thank you for such a monumental contribution to save the Constitution and the democracy of this country from the political thuggery of the ANC through Jacob Zuma. So we are very confident now that our people know what we stand for. Many things have been said about us, that we are anti-democratic, unconstitutional. We have shown, and the president has always led by example, President Julius Malema, when he was subjected to the constitutional institutions of the country, in particular the courts, subjected himself, had his day in court, and there were no cases that stood against him. And we are yet to see the ANC lead by example by allowing its president Jacob Zuma to also subject himself to the constitutional processes and institutions of this country as someone who's the face of the republic. In fact, the court has ruled in the extreme opposite, that the president has failed to uphold the institution, which is a basis for impeachment,
Well, that was Mlungisi Khumalo there, our reporter in Durban, speaking live to Jackie Shandu, EFF Deputy Chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal. And staying in that province, the Inkatha Freedom